Hi, welcome to Naresh IT. My name is Sarish. In the last sections we discussed about the how to create the simple elements and the complex elements in the XSD. In today's section I am going to be introducing how to create simple elements, complex elements with the namespace concept. Means actually today our main concentration is XSD namespace concept. XSD namespace concept. Understand about the namespaces now. In Java, package concept is there. The package concept is used to group all the classes as a single unit. In Java, the package concept is used to group all the classes as a single unit. Whenever a class is present in package, at the time of using of that class we will use fully qualified names. Fully qualified name means class name along with its package name. If you are using fully qualified names, then what is the benefit? If you are using fully qualified names, then it is possible to avoid some kind of ambiguity problems. If you are using fully qualified names, okay, it is possible to avoid some kind of ambiguity problems. So in Java, the package concept is given to avoid the ambiguity problems only. To avoid the ambiguity problems only. Okay, best example. For example, here I have one class test. In this test class, now I want to use a date class. Date is present in java.util package. Date is present in java.sql package. Okay, I am writing the date class with fully qualified name. java.util.date, date 1, java.sql.date, date 2. So here I am using two dates. One date I am using from util package, one date I am using from SQL package. Here the class name is same. Even though the class name is same, okay, here no chance of getting any ambiguity problem, because we are writing this date class with a fully qualified name here. So when we are writing this date class with fully qualified name, number of ambiguity problems are resolving. So in Java, package concept is used to group all the classes as a single unit, and whenever the classes are present in the packages, at the time of using that classes we will use what? Fully qualified names. When we are using the fully qualified names, ambiguity problems are not occurs. Suppose if there is no package concept, then there may be a chance of getting ambiguity problems. Similar to Java package concept, in XSD we have namespace concept. In XSD, namespaces are used to group all the elements as a single unit. In XSD, the namespaces are used to group all the elements as a single unit. So at the time of using the element, we will use fully qualified name. Fully qualified name. Okay, here fully qualified name means element name or namespace with what? Element name. So in XSD, namespaces are used to group all the elements as a single unit. Okay, whenever elements are present in a namespaces, at the time of using that elements, we will use fully qualified names. Okay, here fully qualified name is nothing but namespace plus element name. If you are using the element with fully qualified name, then ambiguity problems are not occurs. Similarly, in Java the concept is there. Classes when we are using with the fully qualified names, ambiguity problems are not occurs. Similarly, elements if we are using with the fully qualified names, then any kind of ambiguity problems are not occurs. So Java package concept, XSD namespace concept, both are given to avoid the ambiguity problems only. It is always recommended to work with package concept in Java and a namespace concept in XSD. Okay, when we are working with the Java program, to create one package, we are always working with package keyword with some package name. Okay, this is a statement we are using to create what? A package. Okay, in one.java file, only one package declaration statement is only possible to use. For one.java file, one package declaration statement only possible to use. Similarly, when we are working with XSD, to create the namespaces, we will work with the target namespace attributes. Target namespace attribute. In Java programming, we are working with package name. Similarly, in XSD, we are working with target namespace attributes. Okay, your package keyword is used to create one package. To group all the classes as a single unit in a package keyword we are using. Similarly, to group all the elements in a single namespace, here we are working with what? Target namespace. For one.java file, one package declaration statement. Similarly, for one XSD document, one target namespace declaration is possible. And where we are using this target namespace attribute? Actually, the target namespace attribute we are writing always along with the schema elements. The target namespace attribute always we are writing along with the schema attribute, schema elements. You know already in XSD document, schema is acting as a root element. So along with the schema, we are always using what? Target namespace attribute to create our own namespaces. For example, how we are working? Now observe. Schema, close schema, target namespace is equal to. So like we are using target namespaces. Here very important point is the namespace is always recommended to start with any protocol. HTTP protocol is not mandatory, but namespace is recommended to start with any protocol. HTTP colon empinfo.com. So like here, when we are working with the Java program, how we are writing packages? Package com.empinfo. So in Java programming, always we are writing package names with internet domain name in reverse manner. Similarly, in the XSD, here the namespaces we are starting with one protocol with some valid URL. Okay, but this is any name we can write, any number of characters we can use. There is no length limit for that one. Here only the rule is must be maintained the namespace has some valid URL. Means start with the protocol. Here any name we can use, end with some domain name. Okay. So here schema target namespace is http://empinfo.com. Inside this schema, what we are creating as elements. Inside the schema, we can create what? Elements. Inside the schema, here whatever the elements we are creating, all the elements are comes under this namespace, and at the time of using that elements also compulsory use that namespace. Means at the time of using that elements we can work with what? Fully qualified names to avoid some kind of ambiguity problems. You know already how to create the elements. So now I am going to be creating one small element. Here already have namespace declaration. Here create the elements. Element name is equal to employee, close element. Employee I want to make as a complex type element, complex type, and I want to create some child elements inside the employee. So I am using one complex data type as what? Sequence. In this complex data type I am going to be creating some child elements. The child element like element name is equal to emp number, type is equal to int, element name is equal to name, type is equal to string, element name is equal to salary, type is equal to decimal. So like this. So this is what? One XSD document. In this XSD document, complex element is employee and simple elements are employee number, name, salary. Employee number, name, salary as acting as a child elements to employee, and all these are comes under in this particular namespace. Okay, how we'll use in XML? As per the XSD, we are writing in the XML like this: employee, close employee, inside the employee emp number something 191, emp number, name something, name, salary, okay, something, close salary. Very important point is the employee number, name, salary, all these are available in a namespace. What is that namespace? http://empinfo.com. You know, whenever the elements are declared under a namespace, at the time of using that elements must be work with the fully qualified names. So here all these elements we can use in the XML with what? Fully qualified name. How will write with fully qualified name? Here we can write like this: http://empinfo.com:employee, http://empinfo.com:employee, http://empinfo.com:employee. So like this we can also write for emp number, we can also write for name, we can also write for salary, we can also write for closing elements. But here namespaces are very long length strings. Writing of each and every element with fully qualified name is increasing the burden. In Java programming, for example, class test is there. Here java.util.date d1, java.util.date d2, each and every date writing with fully qualified name is increasing the burden. So to overcome this one, in Java programming also, to work with short names, how we'll write in Java programming is, now observe. In Java programming we are writing here import java.util.star, otherwise java.util.date, class test, date d1, date d2, like this we are working. So in Java programming, to use the class with short name, we are always working with what? Import statement. Similarly, in XML also, writing of all these elements now with fully qualified name is increasing the burden. So to write all these elements with the short name, to write all these elements with the short names, then we can work with the import statement concepts. Actually here exactly we are not using import like Java, but same concept is there. How? Okay, if you want to use all these elements with the short name, we can use XML NS attribute along with your root elements. XML NS, XML namespace. This XML NS is working like a import statement of Java. The XML NS is working like a import statement of Java. Okay, to use all these elements with the short name, we can write what is the namespace is there with XML NS, then we can work with the short name. So how we will write? XML NS is equal to the namespace is http://empinfo.com. So now it is working like what? Import statement. So either write like this import statement and use the short name, otherwise directly use each and every element with the fully qualified name. Okay, so this XML NS attribute is similar to import statement of Java. By importing one package, we are working with what? Short name. Similarly, by importing one namespace, we are also working with what here? Short names. Okay, at the time of writing of XML NS, it is also possible to create some prefixes. It is also possible to use what? Prefixes. How will create the prefixes? Now observe. The same example we can also write like this: XML NS colon E. Then each and every element we can also use with that prefix. E colon employee. Here E colon EMP number. E colon EMP number close. E colon name. Here also E colon name. Here E colon salary. Here E colon salary. E colon employee. So writing of this prefixes also be possible. Here this prefix is nothing but shortcut of that namespace. Shortcut of that namespace. Because namespace contain many number of characters. Writing of each and every element with namespace is burden. That's why here we are also creating what? Prefixes. Okay. And in the XSD, one target namespace declaration is possible. But here any number of XML NS is also be possible. In Java program, one package declaration statement is possible to use, but any number of imports are possible to use. Here also, target namespace is unique for XSD, but here XML NS is working like import. Any number of XML NS is also be possible to use. Okay, so now here one more point. In this XML, employee, employee number, name, salary, all these are available in empinfo.com namespace. That's why we are working with what? Prefixes. Similarly, here one more point. Schema, elements, complex type, sequence, all these are also given by W3C in a namespace. At the time of using the schema, element, complex type, sequence also, we can use what? Fully qualified name. Why? Means all these are given by W3C in a namespace. So now my point observe here, the schema, element, complex type, sequence, all these are given by W3C in a namespace, that is http://w3.org/2001/XML schema. So at the time of using schema, element name, complex type, sequence, you can also work with what? Fully qualified name. Okay, but writing of schema, element name, complex type, sequence, everything is also with fully qualified name is increasing the burden. So in this XSD document also, To use all these elements with short name, we can work with what? XML-NS. Now XML-NS is working like what? Import statement of Java. Here XML-NS is equal to http colon www.w3.org/2001/XML schema. So why you are writing XML-NS here? To use schema, element, complex type, sequence, plus here the data types like int, string, decimal, all these with the short names. Here we are using what? One import statement like what? XML-NS. So if you don't want to use this XML-NS, then each and every element we can write with what? Fully qualified name. So this is a namespace creation. In the next section I will discuss how to map the XML documents with the XSDs. Okay, thank you for watching.